Okay, in our next example, what we're going to do is add a formatter to our module. Now, a formatter allows us to output a field in a particular way, but it's portable so that other fields could use that too if we wanted to allow them to. So go ahead and open up your 12th step in your steps folder in your Stuff module directory, which is called adding a custom formatter. And this is for the new stuff.module file. Go ahead and also open up your new stuff.module file. Copy the code that's in the 12th step and paste it into your new stuff.module file and save it. When we add a field formatter, there are a few steps involved. The first is that we add the item to our array of formatters that have been defined through hook field formatter info, which we're doing right here. Next, we need to define how our formatter will be associated with a render function. And we do that through hook field formatter view. And then we need to actually theme the field, which we'll do by establishing a new theme function. And we need to register that theme function with the theme registry, which we'll do through hook theme down here. Okay, now let's go through this line by line. Our first step is implementing hook field formatter info, which supplies information about the formatter. It returns an array, which is a collection of any formatters that we're returning, and we can return more than one. We're giving it a name of new stuff example field, and it has an array of data associated with it. The first is the label, and this will display when we select the formatter in our fields management page for a content type, and it will say example field formatter. We can establish which field types this formatter should work with. In this case, we want it just to work with text field types. Our next step is to implement hook field formatter view, which allows us to assign a callback basically for our formatter when it runs. We switch based on the display type, and if the case is new stuff example field, which is the name of our field, then we're setting the element type to markup, and we're setting the markup to the return value from a theme function, and the theme is going to be new stuff example field. So our theme function will be called theme underscore new stuff example field. And we're passing it an array, and the array is the variables that will get passed to the theme function. We're just setting one variable to be passed called value, and we're assigning it the safe value from the first item in the field. So all fields have potentially multiple items associated with it, so there will always be this sub-array inside of the items array. But since we know that it's always going to have a single value, we can just access it by passing it the 0 item, which is the first item in the items array. And we're just grabbing the safe value from this, which is the value that was input run through some filters in order to remove any potentially harmful code. Since we're in a switch statement, we're going to go ahead and break and then return the element now that we've added our new data to it. I'm going to scroll down. We have our theme function here, which is called through the theme function up here. It's being passed a single parameter, which is the variables, and we only have one item in here called value. All that we're going to do here is surround this value with a block quote tag. And then we need to register this theme with the theme registry, which we can do through hook theme here. And we're just returning an array with a single item for the theme function that we defined. And then in the variables, we're just passing a single value, which is value, and we're assigning it a default value of null. Okay, go ahead and make sure that your module is saved, and jump back to your browser, and clear the caches to make sure that everything gets registered properly. Now we have a new formatter that we can associate with a field. So go ahead and go to Structure, Content Types, New Stuff, and manage display. Okay, here under the format column, we can select our new example field formatter. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And if we create some content now that includes some data in the example text field, it will display using this format. So let's go ahead and add a piece of content. Going to click on Add Content, New Stuff, and I'm just going to fill in some text here. Example text, and I'm going to save. Okay. Now if you look, we have our label here, and then we have our text, which is surrounded by block quotes, which is exactly what we wanted from our theme function.